In this video I'll be explaining why I've added extra solar panels, and I'll show you how I went about it. I need a sunshade over the kitchen roof, and I could also do with a little bit more electricity. I'm going to add 4 more solar panels to solve both problems in one go. To begin with, our batteries would charge in summer by about 11:30 in the morning. After we'd added the chest freezer, this time was pushed back to 1:30. This means that using the air conditioner is not very realistic. I was only using my charge controller at 50% capacity. Now, to begin with, I couldn't find any extra solar panels, and I asked for help from YouTube. Well, I got a lot of help and advice, and I eventually managed to purchase some new ones. So now I'll show you how I went about installing them. Because I had such a hard time buying the extra panels that I wanted, I bought the full capacity of the system, which was 4 kilowatts. So here's an extra 1 kilowatt that I haven't got round to using yet, but I'm hoping that one day I will. This panel used to run my 12-volt lighting, but now I need the real estate to add the extra solar panels. Everything on my roof is held on with a universal bracket that I designed myself. This makes it easy to remove or to put something else in its place. Well, I'm saying goodbye to this panel. It's going to be replaced by a double, so let's get rid of it. Solar panel wires are held together with MC4 clips. You just pinch the clip and pull them apart. There we go. Now I've just got to get it down. That might be easier to say than to do. This was my first solar frame, and I think I seriously over-engineered it. That's the decks cleared, so now I can start installing the new frames. In the past, I've helped a friend weld the top of his containers using his full-size welding rig with tall gas bottle. It was an absolute nightmare to get to the top of the containers when we had to build ramps. My welder, by contrast, is easy to carry to the top of the containers. It uses gasless wire, but it still does an acceptable job. These are the new base struts for the frame. I've designed them to be the same width as the solar panels, and they'll overhang slightly. So I put down a fresh flat plate, and then I line up the strut for welding. So here's the fresh weld. I use 50 by 50 galvanized box section all over the project. This means I have quite a bit of offcuts. I was able to take the offcuts to the cutting shop and turn these into something useful. I just had to drill some holes for the hinges. These are the posts that my frame will hinge off. I have to lift the frames higher than the water pipes. I just hold them with magnets and then I cook them into place. I've thrown away quite a few nearly full cans of Coldgal spray paint. Now I've learnt to dip them in a bucket of hot water for 5 minutes before I need them. This seems to stop the nozzles from getting clogged. So here's the base frame finished and sprayed. And here are some of the smaller top components. I used quite a few nuts, bolts and washers to assemble a frame. The top of the frames are made out of 50 by 50 galvanised right angle, and it's just simple components that bolt together. Adding the extra solar panels is covered in part 2 of the ebook How to Build an Off-Grid Shipping Container House.
Out of darkness we come, born into light with a shudder and scream. Through these fields that we run, we are chasing the future, we are chasing the dream. I am small in a world full of giants, holding this globe in my delicate hands. I'll be all that you hope for, I need help to find it. Tomorrow's upon us, will you help me get there? One small step at a time, I am learning to walk, I am learning to smile. Put your hand next to
Here I've got the first panel mounted, but rain is stopping play. I've got some spare 4mm 2-core cable. This is used in solar installations. I just have to put on MC4 connectors. I just crimp on the pins, and for good measure I solder them as well. I'm just checking that I've got 50 volts coming off each of the panels before I go any further. That looks perfect. I'm mounting the panels as pairs, so I put the positive to the negative in one of the pairs, and then I find the positive cable on one end and connect that to the red terminal, and then negative from the other end goes to the black. My cables are running in 90mm stormwater pipe. This protects the cable from being damaged by the sun. I didn't have enough room in the breaker box to add the extra solar cables, so I bought a couple of neutral bars to make positive and negative bus bars. I installed the insulated bus bars into the electricity box. My solar cables are live during the day, so I waited till night time and then I moved the cables into the new bus bars. Okay, so now the solar cables come wiggling through here, a red and a black. The positives go to the red side, which is here, and then the negatives come down to here, and they flow down the thicker cable to the breaker. The new panels have been a complete success. The kitchen's much cooler with the shade, and now we're filling up the batteries much quicker. Instead of the batteries being full at 2:30 in the afternoon, they've moved back to being full at 11:20 in the morning. Sarah made a throwaway comment. She said, could she have the extra panels on the side so they'd charge even earlier in the morning? Guess what's coming next? If you enjoyed this video, then you'll enjoy the video where I use my excess solar power to drive an air conditioner. Press subscribe to follow more of our adventures, and please press the like button if you enjoyed this video. It helps the channel. For more information about the ebooks, please visit my website at buildshippingcontainerhouse.com.